can do to help him. Oh, wow. I said, so you know a thief? She laughed. And that was last I heard of the story. So I wasn't surprised. In fact,
today is the presidential candidate of the African Action Congress, Mr. or should I say Comrade Omoyele Sowore. My brother,
nice to see you again.
nice to see you again.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
I see you've been in and out of battlefronts.
Yes.
Let's get right into our conversation. The Federal High Court, I think yesterday, has rejected your application for adjournment, ordering you to return to court for the continuation of your defense in the cybercrime and all of that case. Give us an update on this, please.
Well, the update is that we're in court to defend what I call the indefensible. That is like a citizen of Nigeria in 2026 is being arraigned in court by a third party for an offense that practically does not exist, and it's cybercrime, which is based on an amended law that says that if you insult someone and it could lead to breakdown of law and order, you are liable for trial. I do not understand where it came from, but I understand that the Nigerian state has a historical axe to grind with me. And I've been saying it that since I was in the university, they've targeted me, and that was what led to my expulsion twice at the University of Lagos under the military, Babangida, Abacha, and then several arrests. NYC, I've spoken extensively about it. I went and did my NYC in 95, finished in 96. As I was about to collect the certificate, they arrested me, detained me, and I never got an NYC certificate till today. And subsequently after, it's been one legal issue or the other. But for the period that I was even outside of the country for about 20 years, they were targeting me with lawsuits related to investigative reports that were published by Sowore reporters. Those lawsuits are categorized as SLAP, the strategic lawsuit against public participation. So the moment I returned to the country in 2019 to start running for political office, they started targeting. In fact, they started before the political office. It was when I started Sowore Reporters Media Foundation in Ikeja area of Lagos that they resumed the hostilities against me. So I take it as one of the hostilities. In fact, in 2019, apart from being charged with treason, I was also charged for cybercrime. I was accused of the same offense, that I insulted late President Buhari. I was also charged in 2025 by the outgone, disgraced, illegal IGP 4 different times. I think 2 of them were also cybercrime offenses. So, but one thing that has run through all of this is that they target my freedom of movement, association, and my ability to freely speak, because they know the power that our speech carry in this society, that it has that ability to wake up the conscience of the nation, especially this new generation of young people. And that is where the lawsuit came from. That's where this trial came from. And that is where judges like this come from, who say to you, oh, go and defend yourself. And we say, we're ready to defend yourself. And he says, oh, your lawyer should shut up. Come and kneel down here. That's the same judge that asked my lawyer to kneel down. And another lawyer, the new legal team came. He said he can't wait for us to defend ourselves properly. And as a result, he's trying to abridge our own defense time when he didn't do the same to the other party, which is the government. So I am not in any way surprised that this is happening, because this is the political season too, in which the current president, Bwala Tinubu, is doing everything he can to ensure that there's no opposition in the next election. And I think for different opposition groups, I'm using the word opposition loosely now, he has a position on how to take them out. So if he's not using the courts to deregister parties, he's using internal crisis to, timing the ability of the parties to organize. And for a party like us that is ideologically different, they target the leadership of the party for incarceration and criminal conviction that in cases that do not exist. So I'm used to it. It's complete political persecution, but mine just have lasted longer than several others.
Okay, you said the plaintiff in this case is a third party.
Yes.
Who is the person?
That's the State Security Service, the DSS. The law is explicit. That is the Cybercrime Act of 2015, which was signed into law by Goodluck Jonathan, by the way, that the person who is allegedly offended must be the direct complainant. In fact, that was how we defeated Buhari in 2019, and they had to drop that charge against me. And our argument at that time was very easy: that you cannot come and claim that Buhari would not come and testify or explain himself. And we had a lighter side to it. That how was Buhari cyber stalked or cyber bullied, considering that he has ear infection that he's been treating in. So they just quietly dropped it. And eventually they dropped the treason charge. But one thing that is wrong, and that's why we're trying to correct the wrong in the society, is that somebody will be completely brought under false charges, dragged through the courts, and by the time the case is over, the person is found not to have committed an offense, but they have ruined your life, your businesses, they'll try to ruin your reputation as well, and you don't get any respite. When they are done with that first hubris, they come with another one. They just keep coming at you and hoping for what could stick. That's the way I see all of this. Yes.
Some human rights advocates, civil society groups have said all of these cases are geared towards silencing opposition. Just like you referenced, it will seem there are different approaches to different yes. individuals or political parties yes. and all of that. But do you believe that's actually the case? And why are you playing in your own specific case? Don't you think you're playing into their hands?
No, see, you must understand Nigeria historically. Nigeria has defined enemies in different places or categories of intervention. There are people Nigeria defines as enemy of the ruling class from the ethnic angle. So if you say to them, we want a Nigeria that is working, and if it's not working, we want to leave, they will say you are playing into their hands. That's Nnamdi Kanu. The one that said, oh, let's manage our resources. Our environment has been destroyed. Ken Saro-Wiwa. You accuse him of playing into their hands, right? The one who said, we need pure political elections. People like Awolowo. Did he play into their hands when they sent him into prison in 1963? Of course. It's a system. It's a system that is rigged against justice. So anybody who is shallow-minded will say you are playing into their hands. No. What you need to do in Nigeria to be a victim or a villain is to do what is just and right. That's all. And to be consistent about it. The people who will do even worse things, say worse things about Tinubu, people like Reno Amokri, Femi Fani, the moment they play the game appropriately, they get into the system and they get rewarded. But those of us who refuse to be part of the rot, the ruination of the nation, we become villains. So you just need to have a good conscience and to be consistent in doing right, to play into their hands. It's the way Nigeria is. Ask yourself, was Abiola an activist? But the Nigerian people, in those days, some people, shallow-minded people, say he played into their hands by declaring himself president. What are you supposed to do after winning an election? And you know the results of the election. The man who conducted the election came back later and said he won. The man who annulled the election came back later and said he won and apologized. But when Abiola was standing up for his mandate, right, ignoramuses were saying that he was playing into their hands. But have we not come full circle? Should we have allowed the country to be ruined in 1993? Had we had that election honored, our democracy by now will be close to 30-something years old. I would probably have been used to free and fair election because there's no way we would have stepped down from that standard that was created. We would only have had room for improvement, which is supposed to be the largest room in the world.
Let me clarify what I meant by playing into their hands. If I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I am, the substance of this case is that you called the president a criminal.
Yes.
That's it, right?
That's correct.
Now, I reckon in the court now, you're being asked to produce evidence to back up your claim.
No, that's the problem. Okay. The court doesn't want the evidence.
No, how?
Because
the court cannot ask you
the lawyer who was presenting the evidence, Marshal Abubakar, young, vibrant lawyer, was the one the judge said, no, I don't want to hear from you again. I'm tired. Don't make any more presentation. And the guy said, no, I'm presenting evidence. He said, come and kneel down.
Is that applicable in our judicial system that people...
Like this one Dutch yes. One thing I like about Sowore, you know how to pressure this government, this APC government. You understand? So according to him, you understand? He get according to him, he say this I don't think Gbajabiamila. He say the reason why the position why he run from US because he can keep person money. That's why he run for America. Right now, he no fit America. You understand? He no fit America. Well, I believe say when I don't watch the full details, you understand, the full video, I'm not gonna understand. So, well, we cannot talk too much. You let me share one of the